And welcome back aboard Blur Force One with your boy Mo and your girl Polly. And this is the Supercast where we talk about all things superhero and our pop culture media. It's movies, TV shows, video games, comic books. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, you know what to do. Get down there and hit like on this video. So we're back after a hiatus, very brief hiatus, because somebody had something to do last week, and to be quite honest, I did too. So, but it was a good, refreshing week off, and we had a lot of stuff happening in the last 2 weeks. Punisher came, One Last Kill came out. The final two episodes of The Boys came out. We're going to talk about both of those today. And of course, there's been some news, some trailers. We had a lot of good stuff going on. So it's good that we got back so we can talk about this nerdy superhero stuff. So since we are back, we got to say welcome back and hello to our good friend Polly, our resident Reed Richards truther, comic book, aficionado, all around cool, blurred. How you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, well rested. Did a lot of stuff this week. Actually read some comics. Finally, I got around to reading comics to continuing on my Black Panther journey, and it was good. Also, rewatched Twilight for some reason because every few months I have the urge to rewatch Twilight. I can't explain this.
I can't either.
It just happens. Yeah, every time I get madder and madder at the characters, but I still watch it. That's just
One of these days, I'm gonna finish the series. I'm not looking forward to it. I did not think that first movie was that good, but I've been assured that it gets better. So we'll see. We shall
well,
see.
you know what? In my experience, like my favorite one is the first movie because it's like all weird and has this green scene.
It looks like a C.
And
It looks like a CW show made into a movie.
yeah, and that's what I love about it. And then like I remember this whole thing when it was happening when it got released. Like I've been to every premiere like except for the first one
Hmm.
because that was quite an experience and like people shaking with excitement in the theater and like all the commands you make during the movie, that's amazing. So yeah, and I think I watched something else too. Like I think I watched something important. I was gonna watch Yumi and Tuscany, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Mm.
I will though.
I think it's worth watching. I might watch it again. It came out on
I'm
digital.
definitely gonna watch it. Like
It
it
came
looks
out
good.
on it came out on
Oh,
digital. But it's probably been on the pirate sites for forever. This and it's actually
cool.
oddly enough, it's actually a rom com that I could safely watch with my daughter and not, and she and I won't be like, this is too weird for us to watch at the
Well,
same time. It's a very oddly chaste movie for being a rom
you know
com.
what? We could use some of that after all the like bloody shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that and explicit content we've been watching. And I remember that I watched the drama.
Oh yeah, with the
Yeah,
Zendaya and Pattinson.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Was it good?
So yeah, that I kind of like it. It was very weird.
Hmm.
It wasn't great, but I did like it.
Hmm.
I did enjoy it. It was like this there is a big difference between what is considered to be like a romantic comedy
Mhm.
or with elements of drama in today's world versus like what was considered to be romantic comedy and with a touch of drama in like the 2000s. So in this sense, yeah, it's something. It's definitely
It's something.
interesting and original. It's something.
One of these days I'll get around to it. That'll be go on my list of things that I should have watched in the theater, but I didn't. Which I'm oh like Goat's on Netflix now. I'm gonna get around to that. I meant to go see that in the theater, and I'm missed out on it for whatever reason. So I'm probably gonna hit that up sometime soon. I think in the last 2 weeks, besides gardening and everything, um, I did what did I watched? I've been me and my daughter been watching Bel Air slowly. First season, loving it. That it on a rewatch, it's really good. Like that show's really good. I remember it getting panned because people are like, how dare they besmirch the original? It's a great show. I haven't watched the last two seasons, but the first season is a banger. So like, and she's loving it. I love when I recommend things and she's just like, this is good. I'm like, I know I have great taste. Um, so that's been fun. What's and the fun thing about watching that show with her, and her mom is sort of watching it with us too, just just good. So we're all watching it and we're pausing and like discussing like the writing and what all it means. There's a lot going on in the first season. I'm just saying y'all should watch it if
But
you know even if you
it
don't.
is like kind of a remake, right?
It's a dramatic reinterpretation of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the
Oh,
comedy. So
well,
it's very like I think it's really good. Um,
okay,
so
that got me interested immediately. Did you watch the original?
yeah, oh of course. I was a kid. I was like in middle school and high school when the first one was running. So
No, no, no. I
yes.
mean your daughter.
Oh, did she watch the first one? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's seen it in reruns or whatever. So
Mm.
she's hadn't seen all of it, but she's seen enough of it to know what's going on. So it's I think it's worthwhile to watch. You guys should definitely check it out. Um, also, what was I went to the movie, saw Is God Is. I posted my thoughts on it on it. You know, they're brief. I was gonna do a review, but the moment's passed. I'm not gonna do a review. But I'll just say I think it's worth going to see. I think most people will probably like it, but there are some people who are not necessarily vibing with it for thematic reasons. For for what it means. Like uh one person on threads that I follow, who y'all may know, Feminista Jones, who's I tend to take her takes a little more serious. I like to think about what she says about things because she's a kind of a deep thinker about things, and she's a professor and she talks about black culture and all that stuff. And she didn't love it, but for messaging reasons. And I'm really interested to see what she has to say about it. But I like that sort of grindhouse road revenge thing. Kind of like Kill Bill or something like that. I think Sterling K. Brown is great in it. He plays one of the in the pantheon of terrible black male villains, like just absolute garbage human beings that you want to see get get like their comeuppance. He is near the top. Like it hit what a his character is a horrible person. And his daughters, they are really interesting, and like seeing the way this guy, his terribleness affects the women in his life. Like literally, like he literally sets their mom on fire before her rejecting him. And then there are other women in this man's life, and they are scarred in different ways. And like the men, the boys that he sires, how they generationally take on his horrible evil ways or evil thought patterns because of him. It's very interesting. So I recommend y'all go see it. I think like we're having a great year so far, and we're gonna have a great year for like just black movies with that are just black led, interesting things that are being said in it. I want to go see I Love Boosters. I want to go see that today by Boots Riley. So I'm like, you guys go check that out. I really recommend it. And just kind of let me know what y'all think. Um, Also, speaking of movies, I also watched High School Musical 3 because my daughter wanted to watch it because she's graduating from high school in a few days. And it's about graduating high school, like your last year of school. I loved it. I'm not going to lie. The first two, I was fine with the movies. I actually genuinely loved High School Musical 3. I think it's a great movie. Yeah, it's a lot of singing and dancing and everything, but it hit the right nostalgia buttons for me. I'm already in my feelings because my daughter's about to graduate high school, but it made me think about when I graduated high school, what my last year was like. And it should anybody, every one of us who, we've all been through that if you're of a certain age. So that would be a good way to kind of like rekindle those feelings. I loved it. I thought it was great. Um, Also, I've been loving all of the Michael Jackson stuff on my timeline. Beautiful. I love the King of Pop. I always have. I've never dimmed my love for him has never dimmed, and I'm loving how the Michael movie, even though it's panned by critics, and I think I briefly touched on it before, but I think it's not. Is it a great movie in terms of the story and like narrative? It's fine in that sense, but as a tribute to Michael Jackson, it's great. If you were even tangent, even a slight fan of the man, you're gonna come out of it like wanting to listen to his music and like vibe with other people that are into it. And it's been showing up on my timeline that people are just, as they say, he's got everybody in a chokehold again. So, with that said, this is a tangent for me. I'm gonna need all of y'all, all of y'all young people out there, I'm gonna need y'all to put some motherfucking respect on Michael Jackson's name, and don't you dare shape the words in your mouth to compare him or compare anybody else to him, especially not fucking Taylor Swift or Drake or like don't
Ooh.
or and I know the Beehive is strong or whatever. Beyonce would never shape her mouth to compare herself to Michael Jackson, so don't you fucking do it. It is wild.
Who's out there saying those
A
things?
bunch of people with no fucking sense is that
I mean,
every time I
honestly, you
see.
know what? I mean, I grew up in Russia, and there were like two black people, black singers that you absolutely knew because they were still alive at that time, and they were still legends.
Can
It
I
was
guess who
Whitney
they are?
Houston
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say Whitney
Michael
Houston and
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Of
Whitney
course,
and Michael. That's it.
of
But
course.
I'm
And there was never any comparison to, like, you never compare anyone to them.
hell no. Like it's so wild. People like actually I think Taylor, man, shut the fuck up. I don't
No.
as soon as you say stupid shit like that, I disregard your opinion because it's dumb. There's no way. There's not another single person on the planet that's as famous as Michael Jackson. It's just true. This man's been he died in 2009.
Well, maybe Beatles.
I bet you, there are some places out of the way in this world where they've heard of Michael Jackson and they've probably never heard of the Beatles. But
I doubt
the
that. I
Beatles are
doubt
close.
that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're like on the same level, but that's four people. Took
Yeah,
four white people to come close to one black woman.
he's like it is so ridiculous. It's not just recency bias. It's just being completely ignorant. So that now I've been going down a rabbit hole of all these videos of him. All these things shit I know. Right? I've said it before. I saw the man in concert before when I was a kid. I know what's up. But seeing the very what the concert in Bucharest and everything, like him at the Super Bowl just standing still for 2 minutes and people losing their fucking mind and people all like passing out and stuff. There ain't none of that shit happening. And BTS is not that big. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They're not as big. What's it? Drake's not as big. None of this shit. That it's foolishness.
Uh,
I don't want to
where is
hear.
like, I don't even know where Drake is big. Like, where are those people? Where are
Yeah,
fans of Drake? I have never seen one.
these people they're fucking delusional. Y'all stop. Don't tolerate people doing that. Like it's clear, Michael is here. There's a reason why people always want to compare themselves to him. He's the fucking standard. If you if anyone eclipses him, they're like they've done something amazing. It's ridiculous. Speaking of which, Drake put out some albums that were mid. This one that Drake put out some mid ass albums. I listened to one of them. Too fucking long. It's called the Iceman album. Too fucking long. A lot of complaining. Some decent sounding music on it, but like don't ever shape your mouth to say Drake is on Michael's level. And he had the fucking audacity to put Michael's glove on the cover of Iceman. Get out of here. Trash. Not just the cover. I'm not saying that.
Is it called Iceman because he's a huge fan of ice?
No, but Trump thought it was because the White House social media account used it and AI'd a MAGA chain onto it. So
Okay, but did he not know that would happen?
Trump, I don't know if Drake's got the self awareness or the care to worry about that. Who knows? Who knows what it is? But yeah, so Drake did that. It was look, y'all go listen to him if you want to, but I ain't got that kind of time. I've not listened to the other two because I listened to one of them, and if that's the best that they got, the other two are not gonna move me. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on last couple weeks, but um, that being said, we should jump into to the news. I'm not no nerding on the budget this week. I bought some stuff, but I don't feel like get showing you seven freaking movies. I bought some movies, and I've not bought any action figures. But before we get into that, we are gonna do. Let me see. Let me see. We're gonna do. Polly has issues, which is where our resident comic book aficionado talks about the comics she has been reading recently. So, Polly, what have you been reading?
Ooh, have I been reading? Unlike some people who did not nerd on a budget, I I did nerd on a smaller budget. I just nerded, and I continued reading through Black Panther. I'm on Reginald Hudlin run right now, and of course, I finally got to the point where we're getting ready for Storm and Black Panther to get married. But this is one of my favorites. Eras in general in the comics, and this is one of my most favorite
Oh, I'm sorry,
storylines.
really quick. So this was the
Yeah,
Reggie Hudlin, not the what was it, the Wild Kingdom one. I was making sure
that is.
I'm,
Oh yeah, that is a part of that.
I'm I'm
I'm
trying to
gonna
make
get
sure
to
I'm
that,
trying to
but
make sure I have these in
this
the right
story,
order.
yes. And do I have something? This story actually starts in the Wild Kingdom arc, which is a crossover between X-Men and Black Panther. And look what I have.
Nice. And, oh, you have the
one
physical
one of
copy.
Yeah, one of the few singles that I actually have with some very weird like ad on the back. So yeah, and oh, haven't opened this in a minute. But yeah, this is the storyline where basically Black Panther and Storm meet up again, and
Hmm.
Storm is like accompanied by some of her fellow X-Men. So we see how that affects them and how that affects her and him, and that's a whole big love story. And this we're actually getting to the point where they went back and rewrote the first meeting with between Black Panther and Storm, and it was covered in the Storm mini in 2006 by Eric Jerome Dickey. And
Oh,
this is like,
I have that. I actually have that trade
ooh,
paperback. Let me see.
oh
Hold on.
damn,
I'm about to.
damn,
Hold on. I'm about to. Let me pull these things out. I'm sitting.
that's
My.
one I don't have.
Let me see. Let me see. Uh, Let me see. I know it's here somewhere. Where you at? Oh. X-Men Worlds Apart, baby.
Yeah,
Look at that. That yes, I got the trade paperback for it, which Scott Lobdell doing the cover there. Yes. Oh, and just to show my bona fides, I've got on the Hudlin run. Let's see if I got the first one. I got one,
the oh damn.
two,
It's
three.
a
The
trade
wet. You see
paperback.
the
Yeah,
yes,
oh,
the wedding.
oh, damn.
I got the Civil
No,
War
you
tie-in.
know what?
I was not
Um,
playing. Let me tell you, Reggie Hudlin's run on Black Panther is one of my favorites. Like I
I am
loved
so not
it.
not jealous right now. You have no idea. But well, I do have like Black Panther and Storm mm, figures behind me. You can see them
You
because
do
they're
win there.
far.
You win there.
So yeah, I got something going for me. But that Storm mini, by the way, it was like in my opinion it was completely unnecessary because they did rewrite a bit of a story,
Hmm.
write Storm's origin, and it was quite unnecessary because the only major thing they changed is that uh, T'Challa saved Storm, and it wasn't the other way around. It was the other way around before, but the connection was still there, and it was kind of like always implied that they might get together. uh, they did travel for a while, that remained unchanged. It was like the problem with this mini, and it was pretty good in my opinion, but the biggest problem was like a man trying to write a whole thing about a girl becoming a woman, that just feels icky. And like, I don't know.
Hmm.
And it did feel ingenuine, but at the same time, it did kind of give this start to the dynamic together, which is where Storm acts way different than she does with the other X-Men and with other characters, which I love because, and I wrote about that. We always see her being like all together, very serious, a little bit, kind of pretentious, like Luke Cage noted, stuck up. Uh, and I really love seeing her like natural and candid in her normal life,
Hmm.
because we know that she's supposed to be like that sometimes, and like I feel like writers today forget a lot, like they forget that she's human, that she's a real person, and that there are things and there are connections that shape her and shape her life, and that are important,
Right.
not just like cosmic stuff that she does or like people she's saving, but people she has connections with.
Right.
And of course, like the third part of this whole big thing, it went from like Wild Kingdom to Storm and to the wedding issue and all the preparation to the wedding. That's actually a very it did feel, and I know that many fans think that his story was rushed, and yeah, you can feel that, but it's like in terms of modern comics, I wouldn't say that it was rushed. I would say it was actually like paced like most of the comics these days, because they're generally faster. But you know what, it does make sense still. It does move at a little faster pace than it needs to. Maybe like let them date for a while or
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
But again, another thing I noticed, I remember that they were broken up mostly because the whole thing when they were together kind of like took Storm out of the team books, of the X-Men team books, and put her into Black Panther books,
Hmm.
where she wasn't the lead. And well, I think that like I see that right now Storm is mostly not in any X-Men books. Black Panther is not always in Black Panther books, because like sometimes he is the Black Panther, sometimes he's not. It's the whole thing, like he doesn't necessarily rule Wakanda all the time. So maybe we should give that another try. Maybe
Right.
it's time, like, and give them a shared run in which they would do things, and in which they would do things together and apart, kind of like Rogue and Gambit, but like better because they're generally way cooler. And don't try to put one of them in the spotlight and like
Right.
completely disregard the other one. Neither one needs to be a supporting character to the other one, but they can share the book, and this can be like the black character led ongoing run. So yeah, Marvel, if you need any pointers, call me or write me. I can write it for you even.
I think
What
that
the hell?
the problem you have with uh Storm and T'Challa sharing space is that they're both essentially the top. They're both at the top of the pyramid, so to speak, and you can't have two people sharing that space. Um, you
You
can't
can, you
you
absolutely
can't
can.
what I mean by that is they take up so much space individually that it like only a really like skilled writer can make sure that they don't overshadow each other. They're if in plant terms, one overshadows the other, right? And then the other one can't grow as well. And people
Yeah,
are people are
the
huge
point is,
fans. Yeah, people are huge fans of both characters, and they're gonna complain if like it seems that one of them's being shown up or whatever by the other one, which I suspect is part of why ultimately they decided to break them up in the comics. Even though I think they should be like, I mean, if you think about Storm and T'Challa together, they are they are the equivalent of like Medusa and Black Bolt in terms of like they're as a duo, they're fucking unstoppable. Now that she's a goddess, is she still a goddess? I don't remember. Is she
I don't know. I just stopped for a while reading new comics for a while
right?
because I need to to accumulate a normal amount of books. so I could binge them later.
Right,
So I
right.
don't know, but the last time I checked, which was a couple months ago, yes, but she was still a goddess.
Yeah, as a goddess, she takes up so much space now, and T'Challa is not unimportant. It's not that he's not important. He absolutely is, but his scope and scale is like way more limited. Even if you account for the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, even if you account for that, she's running shoulder to shoulder with the fucking Phoenix Force. Like
Yeah,
that,
that's
like that's
the one
yeah,
of the things. That's one of the things. If we keep Storm at that on that level, she will never be like, she will never be
yeah,
human. She would never be relatable. And the thing is that she doesn't. First of all, she doesn't need to be that all the time. And second of all, I don't think that being a goddess and like being all powerful in terms of like power level, because she's an omega level mutant even without any like
hmm
godlike features. That doesn't mean that sometimes she doesn't need a little help. Sometimes she doesn't need like to. She needs people to be close to. She needs
yeah. True that.
stories, good stories, because in this newer issues in this in her solo, what kind of stories she gets? They, I don't know. In my opinion, they're kind of boring. They are filled with the cool moments where we just see how cool she is, but we don't get to know
Right,
her.
right.
Nothing happens to her. This is not good. Oh my god! I don't want to say not good
They're
writing or
putting
like
themselves into a
criticize
corner.
anyone.
They're putting themselves
Yes,
into
yes,
whereas
and
they've done the same thing with like Thor has been on that level too, but then they've sort of like humanized him by the people around him, and making him relate to, to like the whole
they
Donald Blake,
cut off with both Storm and Phoenix. They cut them off from the people that surround them.
yeah, which I think that may actually be. I didn't realize we were going to get into a conversation about this, but that may be a result of. I think that it's always easier, especially for male writers, to write their super powerful, male antagonist and then humanize him with the characters around him. Whereas I don't think they do that with the women characters. In order to make them strong and like, powerful or whatever, they detach them from their, the humanizing characters. And I think that this is actually I think this is a symptom of how powerful women in the real world have to be in order to be taken seriously as like, in their authority and power or whatever. They're less humanized, more like stoic and grim and all that other shit in order for men to
Yeah,
take them seriously. And I think that that's something that needs to be pushed back on. Storm doesn't have to, she
there
doesn't
is
have to be
the
detached.
opposite. Yeah, there is an opposite issue like with Rogue and Gambit, because Gambit has been completely overshadowed by Rogue.
Right.
Like at this point, I don't think that he has anything of his own or any like anything left of his personality.
Are you saying he's Karen Page, the Karen Page to
He kind of
to her?
is, yes, he kind of is. So I would like for this particular, and it's not a peach, unless you want it to be, but I'd like in this case Storm and T'Challa to both be equally like present and equally strong, and one doesn't need to overshadow
Mhm.
another, because like most of y'all haven't been in a power couple relationship and it
Yeah, yeah.
shows. And
I
because
think that's true.
there is middle ground. There is definitely middle ground,
I
and y'all just have to find it.
I think that is true. Like I think we're unused to an actually equal power dynamic between couple. We have it in the real world, but it's very rare. Usually, one of them is more dominant in terms of their career or their power or prestige, whatever, money. Like Beyonce and Jay Z are probably a good co-power cut where it doesn't. Both of them are on equal playing field as far as their
Yeah,
their cachet is. We're not used to that, and so it's really hard. I think since we're so used to an in uh, a power dynamic that's not even. I think people are not really sure how to go about making two people who are co-equal, who because it's clear T'Challa respects the shit out of Storm. Like it's not even a question, and he would the same because that's the way he was raised. He's not the sort of man who denigrates women at all. So he already is like that anyway. But she legitimately is a greater figure than him in terms of like raw power and like because she can stand with the gods, like the gods in the MCU, right? Whereas he's more of a he's a big deal on Earth and somewhere in the cosmos. And so can you still have them together where he's clearly the lesser member of the thing, but they still have equal parts to play in what the story is talking about? And again, I'm not a writer, so like,
I mean, they almost kind of got there. It took them a long time, but they got to this equal level with the Reed and Sue.
right. And
So
it only took 60 years, but
yeah, it
so
took a lot of
and
time,
I
and we
went,
already
yeah,
know that like Reed is never beating the allegations
yeah.
because he definitely did the things that he allegedly did and that he is
I
convicted of.
I would even argue that
Uh,
Sue is the superior, and I think that the Fantastic Four movie presents the fact that she actually is the better half. I think the Fantastic Four movie
yes, but in
surely
terms of
shows she's the better
influence,
half.
in terms of influence and in terms of presence, like both on screen and like as superheroes, they're equal.
Yeah,
In the comics, they're equal. So try to do that, but like with black people, I don't know. I don't think
yeah.
that it's
That's
magic. I don't think that it's impossible. I mean, I need Marvel to get their shit together on this
I
one.
think this is a longer conversation that we can. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
because we're gonna have to come back to it at
Oh
another
yeah.
time. Well, these were, I think this, look, I love Black Panther. I love Storm. So like, and the Hudlin run is a lot of, at the time it was running, people were, I hate when people try to like put someone down by pulling someone else up and they're like Christopher Priest run. And I'm like, y'all chill out. Hudlin's run is really good in my opinion. I think they didn't like it because Reggie Hudlin spent a lot of time being like, oh no, he's that guy. He like if you read most of that run, it's like no, T'Challa is that guy. He's smart as shit. He's physically powerful. He's rich as fuck. He's in tune with what the fuck is going on, and almost no one makes him wrong step. Like
But
he's
it's also there is also like a big part of it, of this particular run is that he doesn't do what Priest does. He doesn't show T'Challa through the eyes of everyone around him. He actually lets him show us who T'Challa is.
yeah, and
So I love that.
it's really fun, and also Hudlin does introduce Shuri as Black Panther at some point.
Oh yeah.
So like I will go to bat for that. I don't care. Some of the coolest things that happen in there and during Hudlin's run. So I don't know how far you are into it, but at some
I'm
point,
like right at the wedding, the
oh
world
yeah.
tour.
So there's a good because like right like because Civil War happens during the wedding.
Hmm.
And he's just like they call a truce and they like so you get Cap and Tony at the same place at the same time even though they're fighting each other at that point and they have to like kind of chill. It's very
They
interesting.
don't, by the way.
Yeah, it's very interesting and then like right after that I think I want to say Storm and
Doom.
oh yeah, oh I remember there's a right Storm and T'Challa fill in for Sue and Reed because Sue and Reed have to
First they go on the world tour and they
yeah,
like stop at all those different
uh-huh.
places and they start with Doctor Doom. They fight him and then they go. I don't remember where next because I haven't read it
I
yet.
know
But then
they
yeah,
go to
then
Atlantis. I know they go to Atlantis. They go to
oh yeah, of course, not Namor.
Latveria. It's really like the part when they're temporary members of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I have, of course, I have already read that because
Because
it
you
was
read
on
yeah
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four,
Four.
yes.
It's
So
really
that's nice to
interesting.
like fill in the gaps, though.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna have to talk about when you finish up the run. We're gonna have to really dig into it. So, that said, y'all, let's get into the news for the week. We're gonna talk briefly about the news and then we're gonna review the two trailers, and we're gonna review Punisher and The Boys. So our bit of our news is it's not much this week. Vision Quest, we got a first look at it and a bit of a synopsis about it. Uh, Polly is going to give her thoughts about Moon Girl and Marvel Rivals, or the lack thereof. Then, as I said, we'll review the My Adventure with Superman season 3 trailer, the Lanterns trailer, and then talk about Punisher and The Boys. So, y'all, let's get into it. So Vision Quest, a show that you guys all know, I'm so looking forward to. I could be the most excited superhero fan in the history of the MCU for how much I can't wait to see this show. Vision Quest, it's the third. I guess they're calling it a trilogy after WandaVision, Agatha All Along. So this is following up on the what happened to White Vision, Caucasian Vision at the end of at the end of WandaVision. And
Mayo colored vision.
Mayo Vision.
Vision.
What happened to him? Now he's got all the memories, but he's not a he doesn't have the feelings though. He wants to feel big things. I First of all, Vision, I would suggest if you want to feel big things that possibly you go listen to Drake's new albums because he's feeling a lot of feelings on them. But that being said, uh, he's we know there's going to be a bunch of like Stark AIs that are going to interact. They're probably going to be in some virtual reality thing, whatever. And Ultron's back. And I think Tommy is supposed to be introduced in here because they did cast a young man for Tommy. Okay, so cool. They showed a little first look, that little picture where Vision's looking at a mansion that's clearly shouldn't be standing the way it is. It's probably like the Weasley house from from Harry Potter. It's magic is holding it up, and we get a little talk about what it's going to be about. You know what? There's not enough meat on this bone, really. I just wanted to take the time to say, look, I'm reserving judgment. I do like the way that picture looks. I do, and I like
You
it.
are not reserving judgment.
I
Stop,
said
stop
I'm reserving
this. No,
judgment,
no, you're
but
not.
but Terry Matalas, I will say it. I've said it before. I will say it again. I did not like his work, or at least he was the showrunner on Picard season 3. Did not like that season. It's the of all the new Star Trek seasons since Star Trek Discovery came out, it is the worst in my opinion. I don't care what any of you nostalgia nerds want to talk about, that you wish that you could get Star Trek: The Next Generation again, all over again. That's why you love that season, and that's also why uh Feige brought Matalis in, is because he really liked season 3. I don't like that season, so I have very very little like, not say confidence based on that. That being said,
You finally scared me. Like, you finally scared me with this, because I'll get to that later, but keep going.
no, but that being said, the what I read on the synopsis and everything, what they're planning to do, I like the people that are involved as far as like the actors, who are doing the voices. They're bringing, the original voice of Jarvis back. Emily Hampshire is gonna. I think she's playing Friday. So there's good things. If this is like this is like a dish that has a lot of good ingredients, and I'm just afraid that the chef doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And he's just going to turn perfectly good, even delicious ingredients into something gross, especially based on something I really like. So I'm trying not to be a hater. I'm trying to be optimistic. But boy, every time they remind me that Terry Matalas was on Picard, it makes me cringe. But either way, I'm looking forward to this. And they gave us a date, October 14th. So we'll be getting this before Halloween. And I'm assuming it's going to drop week to week. So we'll be watching this through Halloween. All right. I've doom and gloomed enough. you saw this. You saw at least this picture. I
Well,
mean,
I was very excited, but now you scared me because like all this talk about Picard, and then you said that it was like a reunion of like the next generation, and I remember how much I hated that. What's her face? This woman,
which one?
the most annoying one that was like always she
The-
was like reading emotions or
Oh, you're
something.
talking about Marina Sirtis as Counselor Troy. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I hated her so much. Like I couldn't get through a scene with her. And then somebody brought her back and this person is running the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Which
to
is
think now.
and by the way, he was a showrunner for all three seasons of the show. I like the first two seasons better, but they got progressively worse. Like the two season the two
Wow. You know, the good news is that we're only gonna get one season from Disney Plus. So this might be the good one. We're only gonna get like one season of Vision Quest. It's not
I
gonna be
mean,
a two
it'll
season
be
thing.
done. I'll say that. And again, I like the way that picture looks. We haven't gotten a trailer or anything. It's so far away, but they've shown like a teaser or something just for people at these conventions. I I want to know who the writers are, but like at least he can't nostalgia bait it, because that's the problem with season 3 of Picard. It was a gigantic nostalgia bait. Like people be talking about nostalgia bait. He was like, we're gonna bring in Riker, and Troy's gonna be in it, and then he brought in Worf, and then he kept doing that, and the Borg Queen and all. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm so serious. If you wanted to make Star Trek: The Next Generation a new season of that, just fucking make that. But the promise of Picard, the first two seasons, was it's about him. It's about him and his place in the Star Trek universe, as kind of after he made some decisions that didn't necessarily work out. That he's kind of retired in infamy, and it's not necessarily good, and he's trying to reckon with that. And then they're just like, but what if instead of moving forward we go back and get the old people that you liked? Get out of here. I don't like that shit.
I didn't
uh
like some of those people, so
yeah, it was like it was, but people loved it, so I guess here we go. Anyway, this isn't a Picard season 3 trashing moment.
isn't it?
This is again, cautious optimism, very cautious.
Mm.
I'm tempering my expectations, because like Terry Matalas, he's got to show and prove, because like I did not fuck with that last season Picard. So anyway,
The image is cool though.
yeah, it looks very cool
The
actually.
house is cool.
Yeah, and also we
The
find out that
colors. Mm.
the AIs, I think, is in a virtual space, so James Spader actually gets to just be James Spader. He doesn't have to. He's not just a voice. He's gonna be actual James Spader. I'm hoping we'll get the same thing with all of the other AI. It would be very cool. Also cheaper. Anyway, we'll see more. Hopefully, they'll release a trailer in a few months. Um, let's talk about Marvel Rivals. I was just ranting. I'm going to step aside, because all I'm going to say is I saw a lot of people talking about this. I do not play Marvel Rivals. Y'all know that. But I do kind of keep up with what's going on with it, because Polly does play Marvel Rivals. And I love Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. You go watch my, reviews of the show. You and I talked about it before. I think I encourage you to watch the show. In fact, it's just great. I love the show from Disney. And of course, it got canceled way too early. But either way, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, they're just a cool duo. I like them, right? And in Marvel Rivals, there is a character, Cloak and Dagger, who are two characters playing as, that you can play, and they can switch out and whatever. You would think that this would be a prime place to place Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, right? I don't know what kind of class they would be, but it would be an interesting thing. Moon Girl's a great character, right? So then they teased that Devil Dinosaur was going to be in Rivals, and you were the first person that's like, "Where the fuck is Lunella?" Like you didn't say it exactly like that, but you said it like that. You're like, "Where's Lunella? Are
That's
they
what I
about?
thought.
Or were you were like, are they going to be on some bullshit?" Yes.
And they were.
Yes, they were on some bullshit because Devil Dinosaur is coming, or in fact, is in Rivals. Are they in? Is it in
Yeah,
Rivals
it's
now?
already in.
It's in
Hmm.
Rivals now. This was this when I first put this on our notes. This was before that happened. It's in Rivals, and Lunella is technically in the game, but not as a playable character. Right? She's in the game, but not as a playable character. And a lot of people are rightfully like, what the fuck is this shit? And then NetEase was like, well, look, we couldn't have her because she's a kid and ratings, and said that she can't be, we can't have kids getting shot at and whatever, whatever. And that's the reason why we did this. And my question is, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur has never had his own comic to my knowledge. If he has, it was with Jeff or some shit like that. But as a carrying his own comic book, never. It's either been Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur, or it's been Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I don't even understand why you would fucking choose. You have so many damn Marvel characters to choose from. You choose Devil and then erase, basically don't let people play the little black girl who is mostly associated with that character. That seems that's a choice. I'm not. I don't
Keep
want to
saying that.
I don't want to say necessarily it's some racism shit, but it
I
feels
mean,
it
you
feels
know,
anti-black. That's all I'm saying. Like Lunella is a great character, and you couldn't figure out ways to get around. You got Penny Parker in that bitch.
yeah, and they aged her up. And one of the excuses was that like Penny is around 14 in the comics, so it's like only 4 years. But Moon Girl is 10 years old in the comics, or like around that. So we can't age her up from 10 to 18. And I'm wondering, like, how come you can't do that if you have characters coming from different parallel universes? That's literally the part of your lore. You have Psylocke, who is from like really I don't know, remember it was like one issue from a mini run by Peach Momoko. And you have different versions. You have Lin Lee as Iron Fist instead of Danny Rand, who's the most popular Iron Fist. You have Luna Snow for some reason everywhere.
Ooh, I don't even know
Like,
what the fuck she's from. Like I have no.
exactly, exactly. She's from a game. She's not even a comic book character, but they love her. Uh, so yeah, this is a recurrent problem though with black characters because they have already Shuri, they have Spider Zero, and they have Lunella now, who are in the game but they're not playable, and they have like voice lines for Lunella because she talks to the Dino, but she's not in the game. She's in like some screenshots, like some. Loading screens and stuff like that, and some promo materials. She's not on the MVP screen or anything. She's just not in the game. That's the
Mhm.
thing, and that is. I remind you that like there are only three uh, black characters. Like if you consider 3.5, if you consider Cloak and Dagger, uh, they have three black characters that you can play off as one healer. One of them is like a strategist, and three are DPS. And you have only one black woman, Storm.
Mhm.
And that's probably because they couldn't get around like not adding her to a game. Because if they had a choice, I think they would choose to not add her at all. Because like it does feel like a series of microaggressions, and uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's just at this point, it's not even suspicious anymore. Like I'm not suspicious anymore. I just straight up calling them out on that because that's what they're doing, and they know what they're doing because people write about it. All the excuses they just don't. I see the excuses, but I see like that they're very flimsy.
Yeah.
There's always a counter argument whenever they do something, and the way they treat black characters in the game, it's also like very obvious. There's never any like they don't give them a lot of skins like they do white characters. There are wedding skins that three couples have these wedding skins, and both white couple skins are legendary. The black couple skins, they're not legendary. They don't have like VFX. during the ultimate ability or something. They don't have like special animated nameplates or anything. This is just all these small things add up to a bigger issue, and the bigger issue that they is that they don't. It feels like they don't want to add any more black characters, and this is very annoying.
Yeah, it's
And
it,
this really, it really makes me feel like I don't want to pay them anymore for the game. I mean, this season I didn't take the luxury battle pass. I took the like regular one because I didn't want to spend that much money. Like,
yeah, it's just it's a weird. I think it's a weird choice
yeah.
to do Devil Dinosaur without
And
Moon
like
Girl. It's just weird.
if you don't want to have Moon Girl in the game, but you want to have a dinosaur, take Old Lace. Take like one of the hundreds of dinosaurs that
Yeah,
running around Savage Land, or like add Sauron into the game.
I mean, you could even just have Lunella be like part of a super or whatever, like as she teleports in or flies in and like delivers like the gigantic boxing glove, right? She does something like that, or she comes in and zaps him with the ray or some shit like that, like at least. But
Could have
it's
been just during his ultimate, she could show up. I don't know.
yeah,
It could be even on an MVP screen, but she's not there.
but the aging her up is the most fucking obvious thing possible. I don't care how there's literally grown up versions of her in the comics. Like why?
Yeah.
And she doesn't look she doesn't look drastically different from her little kid version. She just has she's a grown up. It's to me it's just they don't want to go through the effort, or they think it's not going to sell. I honestly think it's a money decision. They're like, the white and Asian characters sell better. So like, why the only reason why Storm is Storm, because she's been one of their major characters in all the video games they ever put out. Any X-Men
Yeah,
related
they
things.
literally couldn't get around
They
that.
yeah, she's
If
super.
they could, they would.
She's so she's been popular since Marvel versus Capcom, and it's
I
just
mean,
never changed. So
they probably like would try to like either get her a skin of this May Storm, or just
yeah,
if they could, if they knew that May
that,
Storm existed, they would probably try to replace her
that
with her.
and they can't get away from Black Panther for obvious reasons. Like, it's that Black Panther and Storm are the no brainer options for black characters. After that, it's just a choice to not include like a Luke Cage, who is on
Monica.
yeah, yeah, it's there's I'm trying to think from an X-Men perspective. You got, I mean, at least you have Bishop. Bishop, people know who the fuck Bishop is. They should, if you have any comic book knowledge, right?
Or watch the animated series.
Yeah, and you said Monica and Rambo. There are plenty of black characters who can fill a niche like
Like
any of the other
Cecilia
ones.
Reyes, Sunspot, so
Yeah,
many others.
and there's plenty. That's what I'm saying. There are plenty of characters. Their decision not to do that is telling. Um, so I understand. Like, if you're a black player, or if you're just a person that likes comics and like, man, it sure would be nice if the same 17 people aren't in this game again. Like,
Well,
yeah, we have
they
Rogue
don't.
and
They
Gambit
do.
because they're popular. But like, do they add, to me, does Gambit add anything to the game that another
Yeah,
character
he's
couldn't
hot.
have?
Like an eye candy. But really, in general, they do add a lot of lesser known characters. It's just they carefully choose what lesser known characters they add. Like Elsa Bloodstone, they added. They really
Yeah,
love
I like
like
that.
adding white blonde women.
Yeah,
That's
that
their favorite.
because the Gooners. That's why. But it
Yeah,
would
of
be
course.
nice if they put somebody like Deathlock in, or reach into like some of the other maybe West Coast Avengers, Alpha
No, no, no.
Flight.
They do. They do have like, Squirrel Girl. They
Yeah,
have
like
very
get some Alpha Flight characters. Hell, it would be nice if they would get some international people. they'll never do it. They'll never put like Ursa Major in. They'll never put Red Guardian in. They'll because they already have a
Well,
Captain
you don't
America.
know that. You
That
don't
but
know that because
um
they do like when the character is white, there is no problem. When the character is like some weird looking tree or something
yeah, it's
creature,
fine.
there is no problem. There is fine. The
It's
the
just when they're
problem they
black.
have is like, yeah, that is very specific. And
I
uh they
oh
don't really have any Latino characters either.
yeah.
Like they have Namor, but that's it.
Yeah, and but he's MCU Namor. Yeah, that's
Yeah, he's based on the
I was gonna
MCU
say
Namor, and
they need to stop fucking around and they need to put Kahori in. If to me, if they ever like, she's the one. I think it because then it's a Native American character and she's got dope ass powers. I don't see
true.
I don't see why they wouldn't, but either way, I guess I would say NetEase get your shit together, but I mean, they're not going to. They're not going to. Sorry.
I would say Neta get your shit together.
They're like, how? They're the meme, the Captain America meme. No, I don't think so.
I don't think I will.
I don't think I will. All right. So, well, if we get more information, we'll talk about, uh, like them getting it together. We'll talk about it. um,
They're not gonna.
So let's review. Let's briefly review the My Adventure with Superman trailer. I have a reaction for it on the channel if you want to know my most of my thoughts. But uh, season 3 is coming up soon. Like I think within less than a month. I love the first 2 seasons of this show. Jack Quaid as the voice of Superman is, I think he's great. This is an anime inspired version of the show. Um, People wanted to shit on it before it came out, and then they found out, oh, actually, it's a great show. People love it. And what's even greater about the show is the more people will be like, oh, you should check this out, and folks will get onto it, and then they'll get on social media like, this is actually awesome, y'all. Like y'all should be watching this. And I say that because we sort of talked about this when we saw the poster for it. This James Gunn's Superman has really gotten people wanting to see more in this tone, right? This sort of tone of superhero on Superman. And so I think the crossover effect between the two shows has got to be significant. That being said, they dropped this trailer. I think it's great. It doesn't give too much away. We just know we're getting Connor Kent, Superboy. We're getting Cyborg Superman. I hope we had Steel already from, because remember we had Steel from like season 2. So I think they're going to do Reign of the Superman, or some version of it, which will be very cool from the 90s thing. And we're getting some new bad guys. I'm very excited for what's going on here. They fought a giant. There's a giant woman. I don't know what she was there. I don't know what the hell she had going on, but I'm interested to see what goes on with that. Look, I'm in the bag for this show. I'm ready to see it. But what do you think about the trailer though?
I just watched it today because I just found out that it comes out today. So yeah, that it did come out. Well, anyway, first it was like so much punching in the trailer that I, for a minute, I was like, I can't handle another. What was it? Invincible.
Yeah.
That is like a lot of punching, and it's just minutes and minutes of punching. Uh, but then I remembered that it was supposed to be a kid-friendly show.
Mm.
Hopefully, even though it was like an Adult Swim and HBO Max, and I don't know what to think about it. I hope that they keep it very kid-friendly, because like I'm up for something more optimistic and less punchy
Yeah, I
and
would
less
say so.
bloody.
I would say it's definitely gonna be less bloody. That was the tone of the first. And also, again, if you are, because it's clearly anime. It's from the get go. We talked in the first season. There were, he had a magic, he had a magical girl transformation sequence. And this one, you saw him fighting a Gundam or whatever, an equivalent of a Gundam.
I hate those things.
He's fight like it's very
Everywhere. They
clear.
they put them everywhere.
Look, if
Why?
it's anime inspired, right? So that's kind of the thing. All the mannerisms. I think it's a fun little affectation. And they have a lot of freedom with it. That the great thing is they have a lot of freedom in the sense that they're able to sort of build out their own world that's more in a certain style. And also, I understand, I said it before, we're getting a Green Lantern in this too. So this kind of, they're gonna, maybe probably going to backdoor pilot My Adventures with Green Lantern. I think this is just going to be a fun time. And I'm really looking forward to it. I believe it's going to drop week to week. It might do, I don't know if it's going to do one episode per week or two per week, but it's going to drop week to week. So we're definitely going to check this out next month and let you guys know what we think about it then. So, uh, another trailer we got Lanterns, which is coming out much later in the year. Actually, I'm trying to remember. It's August, I believe, when this is coming out.
Mm.
This is our second teaser. This is not the full trailer just yet, but we do get a lot more story out of it. You know what I took away from this? First of all, I really love the trailer. But what I took away from this trailer was
Don't
John.
predict anything.
Well, I'm just saying, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, they don't like each other. No, not really, and probably for good reasons. And there's a little bit of subtle messaging going on within this. And in fact, no, I'm lying. It's not subtle. It's straight. It's just straight out. There's a line in this where John is like, Hal's telling him about how he got the ring, and he's like, you didn't have to, you got all that power and everything like that. And they just gave it to you. You didn't have to interview. You think you might, considering what I know about you, they probably should have like tried a little harder. And this is a direct allusion to the fact that because remember, Hal is telling John, and we saw this in the first teaser, and is sort of saying it more in this one. You got to work to prove that you are worthy of this ring before I give it up, right? Before I give you the ring. And and John's basically like, bitch, you didn't have to do none of that. It just fucking showed up and fell in your lap, and you're gonna sit there and tell me I gotta prove that I can earn it. And I'm like, boy, some really slow people are gonna miss that this is not about the fucking ring. By the way, that whole little sequence, that is not about the ring. And if it's about working twice as hard to be seen as half as good. And if you know and understand that illusion, I'm like, whoever's writing this show, thank you. Thank you for saying out loud what needs to be said. Because Hal Jordan, what the fuck did he do? What the fuck did he do to get the ring? That he was nearby, and the ring was like, fine, you're here, take the fucking ring. Whereas now, Hal is being a fucking roadblock to the guy that looks like he deserves to fucking take the ring from him and to take over and be the Green Lantern of the sector because of his actual accomplishment, his actual ability. And which isn't taking anything away from Hal Jordan, by the way. He's a fighter, test pilot, and all that other stuff. I'm saying, and I think people have been saying this for a while because there's a lot of fans of Jon Stewart, that he is the one. Like they're all aspects of his character suggest that he's the one, and Hal Jordan is just like fighting against getting replaced. Anyway, that's one of the things. I really thought it was great. They showed Green Lantern stuff that people were fucking complaining about in the first one. We see things are green. He puts on a suit. He makes constructs with the damn ring. And it looks like Yellowstone dropped into the middle of the DC universe and decided to fuck around with Hal Jordan. I don't know. I loved it. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I haven't read that many Green Lantern books. Actually, none of them except Far Sector and like Ultimate. Oh my god, Absolute Green Lantern. Yeah,
Ultimate absolute Green Lantern.
Absolute ultimate. But I do know, like, of course, I do know all these names because I watched animated shows from DC and stuff like that, and that's how I know them. And well, basically, Jon Stewart was the first Green Lantern I remember because he was like in the animated Justice League movie show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's really cool to see everything that's happening there. I'm excited for the story. It did seem a little bit dark to me, so it kind of like felt like CW shows. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually like I enjoyed some of the CW shows, so that's not a bad comparison. It does seem a little serious and like um so far we've had like some how many we had Superman, we had creature commanders, and what's his face? Uh
Peacemaker.
yes, and like Power Pack Man, what? Yeah, Peacemaker. Sweetly. And these were all like kind of like brighter and more comedic shows. This does not give this vibe at all. And well, it would be just interesting to see how different parts of this universe are functioning and how they look and what they feel like. It does seem like they I think they announced it as a kind of detective story, and it
Yeah.
does give off that vibe. So yeah, it's interesting. It does also remind me of Absolute Green Lantern in
Mm-hmm.
some moments. So yeah, very very excited.
Yeah, I just like the look of this. It's it giving me the looks that I want, and it looks like we're gonna get some of Hal's backstory, so we'll see more of that cosmic stuff going on. Again, it looked like Yellowstone was happening in the middle of a Green Lantern show, and I need to know why that's going on. And also, John Stewart, like I feel like they're not gonna shy away from like race has to be a part of this issue. Like this I don't believe that the DCU is that dissimilar from our reality that race isn't a real thing. We know it's not because we watch Peacemaker, right? And John taking over, but he doesn't have the ring yet. So what's going on there? This whole push and pull between him and Hal about, legacy, Hal's legacy versus John Stewart, taking over and making his own mark. Um, who deserves to have a chance to be great? That sort of thing. Um, there's going to be a push. There's going to be a conversation had between them. Not literally them sitting and talking, but the show's having a conversation about this. And the thing is, I feel confident that they can do it without denigrating Hal Jordan in order to make John Stewart better. But there's gonna the conversation that has to be about why you from both sides, right? From Hal Jordan's side, it's why you. Why do you deserve the ring? And John Stewart is looking at Hal Jordan being like, why do you deserve it? You have it. You got the power and everything right now. Why did you deserve it? And why won't you gracefully give it up? I find that an interesting conversation for the showrunners to be and writers to be having, and I can't wait to see more of it. This is the sort of shit I need out of DC or any other thing. Is I love the punchy and lasers and all that other shit, but I need some like real serious character development and story. And like I want y'all to be asking these questions because these are questions that are going to exist whether or not superpowers exist, and I want to see them explored. So this looks cool. We got a few months before this is coming out, so hopefully we'll get a trailer next month. I imagine probably, and we'll talk about it then. So let's do our first review of the day. This is about Punisher, the last kill,
One last
or
kill.
sorry,
Yeah.
the last kill, one last kill. I can't read. The Punisher, one last kill. It was a Marvel special presentation, about an hour long. Not even that. I think it was actually more like without credits, like 45 minutes maybe long. This is it's hard to call this a direct follow up to Daredevil Born Again season 2, even though it chronologically happens somewhat immediately afterwards. It's hard to believe that that's true because like so much is happening in this special presentation feels disconnected from MCU reality for me personally. Um it reminds me a bit of if you've ever seen the Death Wish movies, and I don't know if you have, but Death Wish 3, like Death Wish 1 is it's trying to take itself seriously. Death Wish 2 is mostly trying to take itself seriously. Death Wish 3 is where they're just like, nah, this is just a parody of itself. We're just gonna be ridiculous. And I felt like that with this special presentation. I just wish someone had told John Bernthal that. Like, if it's going to be a ridiculous premise within a ridiculous setting, remind the main actor that that's what's happening, because he is playing it 1,000% straight and serious.
He wrote it though.
I know, which is weird. He co-wrote it, but
well, co-wrote it, yeah.
But it's, and also, am I wrong in feeling like the tone and like the setting feels like it's oddly not in the same New York that we just finished watching in Daredevil Reborn. I'm sorry, Daredevil Born Again season 2. It's maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like, I don't feel like these are the same series.
And you know that every blog there is probably like its own war zone or whatever.
It
feels
must
like
be.
it because like they keep fighting over a Hell's Kitchen and like nobody cares in the Avengers Tower. I don't know.
It's weird.
New York is weird in the MCU.
I have more, like, I think, yeah, not to bury the lead, I guess I was very disappointed by this one. This felt like 2/3 of a movie. They got to the end of the second act.
Not a good one.
They got to the end of the second act and they did not know how to actually end this, or they just didn't want to, or they wanted you to come back to see the ending, and they're like, oh, come back for more. And I'm just like, if this is 2/3 of, I want the last third. I feel like this stopped right when he was about to go, make war on the bad guys, and then he was like, or I could not, or I could just not, and it's a very strange. I think it's okay, but disappointing. I have more thoughts. Well, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I did not like it. I wrote about that, and I felt like it was unnecessary. And you have no idea how many people came to like remind me that, inform me that my opinion doesn't matter or whatever, or something like that.
It matters to me.
Yeah, it matters to me too. But I don't care because I still think that it was extremely unnecessary. Because like the Punisher by design is not. First of all, he's not a leading hero. I have tried reading books about the Punisher, and I don't know. Some people may enjoy them, may think they're good, but for me, it was like just a festival of shock factor for the sake of shocking the audience, like how cruel everyone is or something like that. Look how much blood I can draw. And this is exactly what this special was. Only the problem is that Punisher, like I keep saying, he's a great secondary character. He's a great character when he's put alongside, but in contrast with Daredevil or Moon Knight or someone else. It actually works well with Moon Knight, so it's way more interesting when he's with Daredevil. And trying to add depth to him, any more like depth than he already has, it's useless and it's unnecessary. He's still gonna do what he's doing. It's weird to try to change him into some sort of a hero who saves and protects people. That's not what he does. That's not the Punisher. We have a lot of superheroes who do that. We don't need Punisher to be doing that. That's just not his character. And I mean, I would add that I don't think that it was good in terms of writing because it didn't have a story to tell.
Exactly.
It didn't have a strong story to tell. It had some ideas of where the character is and where he needs to be. And the journey there, though, it was very disconnected. And it was not interesting. To me personally, I was kind of like mixing it up with other things while I was watching it while I was doing something else too, and it did not captivate me at all. And all the gory and bloodiness and all of that, I already said, and not once, that I'm kind of tired of that. I don't think that it's necessary. I think that there are things that you can show, and you can show like the villain being evil without graphically making him like tear apart a human or something, and like anything to do with animal abuse and animal cruelty. I don't want to see that. I don't want
Yeah.
that implied.
That
uh
was cheap. By the way,
I
that
just
that was a cheap. That was a very cheap.
very cheap. It's
That was
very
a.
cheap. It's something that a person who is not a writer might do, and
It's
I
a.
don't know how the writer in the room did not stop the actor from bringing this idea out, unless it was brought in by the writer, in which case I have serious questions
You know
to the
what
writer.
made me think is like it was like, what if John Wick, but like not as interesting. Like yeah,
Well, yeah, exactly. And I haven't watched John Wick either, but that's not
it's
the point.
but it's a
To me,
it's
it
just a
was
cheap thing, yeah, to do.
actually the whole project seems like it's a showcase of the actor's talents,
Hmm.
of how well he plays the character that
Right.
we already know he plays well, because he plays this same character in every other movie or TV
Not
show.
quite, but
What? Come on!
not
I
quite.
remember, like when I saw him in The Walking Dead, I was like,
Right.
that's exactly
I,
the same thing as the Punisher. Like he has all the same qualities, except for he's not crazy, but essentially it's the same person.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
there is like
defend
one exception or
I'm
something.
gonna defend John Bernthal. He does not play that character at all in King Richard, the Serena, the Serena Williams and Venus Williams about their dad. He plays a tennis coach in that. He does not play the same character. But either way, I get what you're saying.
Well,
Like,
no. Then why did he decide to showcase this character specifically?
yeah, that's that.
That's a weird choice, because we know he can play
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think it's and I the funny thing about this is this feels like a one man play
Yes.
that had that in the,
You won the tickets and you
it
didn't have to use them.
yeah, it's a one man
But
play.
you're already there and you
Yeah,
can't leave because
it
you're the only one there.
it's really weird. Like it feels like a one man play that added people for no reason. Like because all of the interesting things that are happening are Punisher grappling with his own mental instability, right? Like a lot of the interesting things that are happening is him just like sort of being in his own world. There's a backdrop of this, this part of the city that he's made unstable because he murdered the crime family that kept everything safe or safe and stable, and now the one surviving member is like put a hit out on him. But he's in this like ridiculously comically crime ridden section of the city, and police don't even want to fucking be around them. And he's just like living his own little world of like self recrimination and like, delusion and specters of his past. And that's all interesting and everything. And then they're just like, but I guess he needs to kill people. So let's just throw a horde. Let somebody said it was like a video game. That's what I was thinking when I was watching. I was like, is this a level of a survival video game where you're just going through wave after wave after wave of people and trying to get to the end like without dying? Because it felt like that. That's not a fucking story. Like that's a video game level. It's not a story, right? The story would have been, I did all this. Now let me confront the person that did it to me. And he's just like, no, y'all can go. We'll talk later. That's not satisfying. It's all the psychological shit is interesting. All right, we get it. Frank, you're crazy. Or not. Let's
Well,
not say crazy.
maybe it should have been like a 1 hour episode that deals with Punisher dealing with his thoughts and like going to therapy. But like that, even that is a bit confusing, because the Punisher, he does have mental issues, but
Hmm.
he what he does is he weaponizes them.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And trying to change that is changing the character from what he is. So, like I
Hmm.
said, stop trying to add depth where there no depth is needed.
I mean, I did enjoy. I like the parts about him, like sort of like dealing with the deaths of his kids and everything
And
like that. I like all that
drooling on
stuff.
Karen.
Yeah, and yeah, all that stuff's interesting because his head is in a fucked up place. And now that he's basically completed his mission, so to speak, he's like, why am I still here? Why don't I just kill myself? And then basically he's just like, nah, I still have other people that I need to kill for the betterment of the world. And so this whole 45 minutes is basically trying to give Frank a reason to continue to be a character in the MCU and to try to give it grounding.
Could have been an email.
It could have. So it's like and at the end of it, he's like, "All right, fine. I guess I'll stick around." Now, so he gets a haircut and everything, and he's just like, "Okay, look, this is probably only slightly above Secret Invasion in my eyes, as far as and it's only a bit above
That's
just
brutal.
because it's short, it's to the point, and it's kind of fun to watch if you just for the visceral aspect of the action. It's kind of fun to watch. But as far as like an actual good entry into the MCU, it's not great. Like it's above Secret Invasion because it didn't piss me off. It didn't ruin a character for me. I think that this is the exact same character we went into it with. He came out with it, right? Same character. Nothing changed about him that made me look worse at him. I would be interested to see him go up against Manucci and her family. I thought Judith Light was quite good in the small bit she's in it as Manucci. Um, cool. I mean, I'm not mad about it. It's just not that good. That's just it. It's just not that good. This was a throwaway, and if it had never been made, the MCU would be no worse or no better off. And that's not a that's a in a way that's worse than being bad. Like to me, at least being bad is you swinging for the fence and failing. This is more like you just it feels like a safe bet. It feels like a nothing thing. It feel like it didn't move the needle for me. I will always want to see more Punisher, but this didn't make me be like, oh, you guys need to greenlight a series right now. Nah,
God
show
forbid.
show up in Daredevil season 3. There you go. All
Like an
right.
hour.
Yeah. Just show up, kiss Karen, and make Matt mad, and
Maybe
then move
maybe
on.
take her with you.
Yeah, make her Lady Punisher instead of Daredevil, and then so that Elektra can come back, and we'll be okay.
Oh yeah. Done.
Anyway, that I think that's all our thoughts on that. So now we got to talk about we're gonna do two episodes of the boys. We missed last week's penultimate episode, and then we'll talk about the season finale, the series finale, episode 7 of the boys, as I called it, surviving Homeland, God Homelander. That's right. Into episode 6, the unthinkable happened, which we totally saw coming because why wouldn't it happen? uh Homelander got V1 thanks to his daddy, who really, really loves a Nazi. He loves her memory so much, and he's like, you know what? She loved you, my little Aryan god. So here, have some V1. And so this episode is about the aftermath of that. We've lost. Damn it. Well, we've lost. All right. So what do we do now? And Butcher's like, nah, you guys chill out. We're gonna do something else. We're gonna figure this out. Let's get the soup. Let's what's it? Let's figure out Kimiko or whatever. Get her together. And in the meantime, we're seeing these little interludes about all of the people who are around God Homelander now and what they're doing. It's like they're like we gotta show you to the world as a god. So we're gonna do focus groups and everything like that. We're gonna we'll use the psychics to figure out who really believes and those who don't really believe. So this episode promised a lot of gore, and it delivers. It, I know you really love that, right? Right, Polly.
Biggest fan.
um, my notes, I have there's a lot. Ashley and Deep both get some features here. Um, we also see Sage get a bit of a feature. She's all despondent because, surprise, she's the smartest person in the world, but does dumb shit because she disregards love. Um, we also get a sacrifice by one of the main characters. So all you people that are bitch moaning about was it Stranger Things season 5 and how nobody died, well, here you go. You get your death. Congratulations. I know I'm being flippant about it. I thought it was pretty well done. There's more. I got some more going on. There's power scaling's weird in here. Oh Father is an interesting character. He's a true. What's weird is he's from the Bible. People are like, well, Peter was the one that really was the rock that that the church was built on because how much he believed in Jesus. Eh, I think it's Paul actually. I think Paul is the one that got Christianity to where it is today, and I think that's what O Father was trying to be is the Paul of the God Homelander religion. Um, there's a theme of how far are people willing to go to kiss the ass of the cult leader. How far, even the most people who most believe in Homelander, is there a step too far? Is there a step too far for them? Yeah. And ours, how much are people willing to debase themselves in order to either stay safe from that powerful person or stay within the radius of them so that they have power by association? That's what Deep and Ashley are all about. And Ashley literally is what's Ashley and Deep are MAGA um, analogs, and Deep is the one that will sell his entire soul for it, and Ashley is the one whose small bit of conscience keeps trying to nag at her to like fucking turn around and do the right thing despite possible consequences. Um, and we also we learn more about Mother's Milk and where he gets his name from, and like he started off the season being the guy that's just like, nah, it's over. I'm hard drinking. Fuck it. I'm a nihilist. Then you find out actually he's really the one that's besides Butcher. Butcher is on his own thing, but he's the one that's actually optimistic and like why we keep fighting and kind of gives Annie a pep talk. So there's a lot of good stuff in this. I really like the episode. Um, I was skeptical because they painted themselves into a corner. They they come up with a Hail Mary solution that's ridiculously convenient, but the actual story and character development to me was where this stood out. What do you think?
I watched this, I think, right after Punisher. Well, I was kind of detached for most of this episode, so I remember the events, but I don't remember what was going on.
Right,
Uh, yeah, I do remember that. Like you pretty much well described the characters pretty well.
right.
Because yeah, where everyone was at and what everyone was doing, and the thing that to me kind of stood out is they it was a weird choice, like where would they were going, because you kind of know at that point that they will succeed at what they were trying to do because like they have no other options.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this, like switching characters, switching sides at the last moment, it did feel in many ways like, again, like watching Daredevil. Kind of the same arcs. Everybody's going through the same arcs in a way. So that was noticeable, but that was probably that problem better relates to the finale. So about this episode, I really can't say much because I kind of missed
Yeah.
it for the most part.
Well, I was looking at my notes here. Because they're going to try to you know to the church or whatever, wherever this focus group
Hmm.
is, to basically try to what put the soup virus out or whatever. um but what ends up happening there, so that Huey and Butcher get captured, and we Huey really gets to see the depths of Butcher's kind of depravity, because the psychic basically lays bare his sins. And Huey still is just like, even though that's all true, I'm still we're still pulling in the same direction, but it sort of sets up why I think the final confrontation in the finale that we'll talk about. Also, complete one of the things I didn't like, and this is for both the final two episodes, the complete waste of Jordan and Marie from Gen V as characters. Some bullshit about them not getting involved. I'm like, these are two really strong characters. Why the fuck wouldn't you have them involved? But I understand this show is not about them, but it's kind of like having a crossover in comics where you bring in two dope ass characters and then sideline them. You just wanted people to know they exist and that they're nearby, but you're not going to take them to the big pivotal battle. That's stupid. I don't like, did not like that. I understand that this was, they thought they had another season, so this was kind of keeping them on the board. Did like Frenchie's send off. Um, Frenchie dying, but not getting pulped or anything like that, but just like Homelander just kind of letting him die of his radiation poisoning, but getting to kind of like all the characters that get to sort of have their last moments with Homelander, the ones on the side that we like the ones that we don't give a shit about, they get pulped and whatever, right? Something happens to them. They're shitty people. Who cares? But the ones we like A Train, his last moments were basically hurting Homelander in a way that physical pain doesn't work. Like physical attacks don't work. So he doesn't try to. He just attacks the thing that actually is sensitive on Homelander, which is his self-image, his self-worth, his understanding of his place in the world. And Frenchie does the same thing. He said, A Train had said he was pathetic, you know, and Frenchie says the same thing, but in a way that I think is a little more cutting. In this, he says, I bet you never danced." He said, you didn't ever get to experience life. You didn't get to, experience something formative and important about life. You're trying to be a god and you're lording your power over people, but never once did you enjoy life and being a human being and what that experience was. And this isn't just for Homelander, because he's an analog for other people, not just Trump, but other people who are rich and powerful and will never be satisfied because they're so insecure in placing all this importance in their power and their ability to lord it over other people and hurt people and run their lives and whatever, but they miss living and enjoying life, what it means and matters to be human. And I love that for Frenchie, because right before that he basically was like, yeah, I thought I wanted certain things, but if they're without Kimiko, it doesn't matter. So I would rather build my life fulfilling her dream than what I thought was my plan for my life. He had accepted that. That was the future for him if they lived. And the fact that he wouldn't get to see it was tragic, but it was also a character defining moment that all of this is leading up to him ultimately sacrificing himself after he had decided in his heart that she was the one and that fulfilling her dreams and being with her was what mattered the most in his life. I love that. Like, I for a show that takes a lot of effort to like shit on people's sincerity, it spends a lot of time shitting on sincerity. It also rewards that sincerity and shows them that those are actually the people we need to be looking to, and not shitty people like Ashley and Dee. I really like that. I'm trying. Oh, and also the other thing was the focus group. I seeing the mask come off, like when Homelander was like, "Oh, you know what to do. Clean them out. If they don't really believe in this immediately, kill all the ones." So the people who were true believers immediately, they got to go free, and everybody that stayed by. And by the way, through the focus group, these were people like, "Yay, Homelander! We love this is all amazing," and but in their hearts, where the psychics could actually see it, they didn't believe this shit, and so they had to be gone, right? And to see them, see their all of their devotion, all of their support, outward vocal support. I'm sure in their communities they were doing all the things right to support Homelander, and to still get basically liquidated because of they weren't true believers is an obvious allusion to what's going on with certain right wing fascist movements, MAGA and so forth. How no matter how much you give up, how much you compromise, how much you do evil things in service of this cult, all it takes is one hint that you're not 100% on board and you're the enemy, and now it's time to kill you. And then ironically they get saved by a person that they spent who knows how many years shitting on by Starlight. And now they have to reckon with the fact that their salvation really was in the form of the person who's been telling them all along Homelander is evil, he's the problem, and that we're seeing that in real life now. Very very nice, and this was written 2 years ago. So, but I don't. People are like, this isn't prescience. This is just someone who knows history, and I'm like, that's true, but like, give me this one. Just let me have this one.
I'm the people who claim that they just pay attention to history.
No,
It's not even for
yeah.
like recent. It's not even some old history that happened 100 years ago. It's just recent happening
Yeah.
around us right now. So.
Yeah, I mean you're intimately familiar with that sort of stuff. But I mean, how often did someone who was just like, "Yay, Putin," said one wrong thing and then suddenly they got to get out of here because they weren't enough. You could 99.9% of the time on board, 1 second you're like, "I don't know about this," and suddenly you're enemy number one.
There have been wilder things,
Yeah,
situations than that.
it's
But that happened, yeah, a lot.
But I think it was a beauty. Again, some people are going to completely miss it, but I saw it. So anyway, I think it was a really good episode. Sage coming around and helping them get Kamiko to become Chekhov's gun, that sort of thing. Setting us up for the oh, we forgot Deep getting excommunicated from the from the water with Sam Jackson's voice. And Sam Jackson was like, "I dare you to come back in the water." And like the deep, oh man, it just sets up really satisfying things. So that was episode 7. Let's talk about the finale. um this is everything's leading up to this point. Everything we're looking forward to leads up to this point. Homelander's gonna announce he's God. You're with me or you're against me, and if you're against me, I'm destroying all of you. The boys have Kamiko, who is she's got Soldier Boy's power now. And everyone's kind of getting maneuvered into place. I said before that Jordan and Marie were sort of wasted in the previous episode. We see Marie again sort of being like,
wasted again.
Wasted again, yes, but she's given the duty of leading all of the people to safety. Lame. They thought they were getting another season. I get it.
Why? I was so sure that was the last one, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kripke literally said we thought we were getting more seasons with them. But yeah, it's all coming together. Like he's going to be at the White House announcing himself. So you have Homelander. He has he has a talk confrontation with his son, Ryan. Ryan, remember Ryan was nearly beaten to death by Homelander, but now he doesn't care, and he tells him to his face what other people have been saying. You're pathetic. You're not a god. You're just scared. You're nothing without your powers. And Homelander's reaching out to him because his failure to connect with Soldier Boy to the point where he had to basically put him on ice again, right? Because he can't. He has a father that doesn't want to be his father. Now he has a son that doesn't want to be his son. I mean, he's just really gonna be lonely, and meanwhile, old father is like doing his damnedest to turn people to Homelander, but because he's got a conscience, a small one, and he's trying to avoid Homelander killing like billions because of this shit. Um, and Ashley, her second, her little voice in the back of her head, her literal voice, has been silent since the previous episode because she's like, "You're irredeemable. I'm done with you. I'm not helping you anymore." And now she's having an actual conscience. You know, trying to decide should she stick her neck out to sort of deal with Homelander being terrible and a true threat. The boys, they're gearing up for their final run to run at the White House to now that they got Kimiko and her powers. And they're having they have to bury Frenchie obviously, and what that means for for them as a group. Sage gets a gift that didn't deserve, but whatever. Um, and then we have the final confrontation wherein they do infiltrate the White House. Oh, I forget, and they infiltrate. Oh, the Deep is finally finds out what Homelander truly thinks about him, and here's a surprise: trash. and and that sets up an interesting confrontation between him and Annie. Again, a confrontation that's been set up since season one, all the way back in season one. And then we get the fight on televised national TV where Homelander becomes mask off. I'll be a wrathful god or I'll be a loving god. Pick one. And he gets confronted by Butcher and Kimiko as they try to depower him and expose him and get rid of him. Ashley makes a choice about whether to help or hurt. Oh Father lets out his last scream with a very nicely placed Chekhov's gun. By the way, I forgot that the thing existed that was used against him. Um, and you know, Deep and Annie have a final fight. Um, there's a lot of heavy-handed messaging in this one. And I would normally be like, "Good God, you guys are beating us over the head with it," but some people really fucking need it, so I'll allow it. Although some people really like they straight up say some shit that people need to hear. Homelander gets his shit rocked, you know, thanks to people who like he keeps disregarding or putting to the side, or just thinking he really bought into this "I'm a god" thing, and he forgot that like you can be hurt, you can be touched, and someone can get rid of you. So, um, it was look, it sticks the landing. It even has a good like kind of like postscript on like where everyone lands and everything like that. I think this is a super satisfying thing. Oh, and I forgot there is a final confrontation between Butcher and Huey that I think was very important to be had. I love this series finale. It really put a bow on this show. I've always liked this show. Um, I've never been. I've been down on this season in some aspects, but I've mostly enjoyed what's happened in this season, and I liked the way this ended. I do have more thoughts, but I wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
Well, I actually liked it too because for a few, I think like 5, 6 episodes, I didn't check out, but it kind of like I felt like it was very predictable and I knew where it was gonna go ultimately, and like I kind of wanted them to get there faster because at
Mm,
this point uh, it was predictable in general. It wasn't like certain events weren't, but you kind of saw the direction where it was moving. So I was looking forward to it, and it paid off because I think that yeah, most of the characters they had the arcs bring them to the place where they needed to be, where they wanted to be. Uh, it I think that like all the character deaths they mattered. They
yeah.
really landed very well, and the Homelander's final moments, that was
Yeah.
very impressive. Like kind of a very good way to show like how pathetic he actually is to
Yeah.
everyone. That was very satisfying after all he's done. Um, and in general, it was like they had a very ambitious job to do. They like the build up was very long. They tried to like up and up and up and up the stakes, and I think they did well with actually finally bringing it to a conclusion. But
Yeah.
except for the Gen V kids, of course, yeah, because they
Yeah. Hopefully they'll find.
irrelevant.
Hopefully it would be nice if they find a way to work them into the boys Mexico if that ever actually finishes. um, the home like the major parts of this, like Homelander's death was that's a thing that had to be a major uh story beat. But I think we before we get to that one, Ashley's having an actual moment where she finally
Oh yeah,
her conscience actually kicks in, and not the second, not the gen, the V powered voice in the back, literally in the back of her head, but the actual conscience where she's asking herself earlier, can I trust, oh father, my lavender marriage husband, with us potentially trying to undermine Homelander, risking ourselves. And she makes a decision on her own when you know when the boys storm the White House to actually do the right thing here, to take a risk to help them out so that they can potentially take out Homelander. And she's not, by the way, not rewarded for it, except in the fact that she did the right thing at the right time, and her good conscience, the voice in the back of her head, helps her out when it realizes she actually has made a change of heart. Which mind you, that second voice, the face in the back of her, the Voldemort face, can read her mind, so it actually does know that she's changed. She's not rewarded for it. She's president briefly, because Homelander killed the other president. He had killed the president in the previous episode. Um, but she ultimately is probably going to go to prison. But the point is that she did change, unlike the Deep, who goes down as the most, like, if Homelander's the most pathetic piece of trash in the show, Deep is a close second. Because yeah, I mean, he literally, Homelander's like, the only reason why I haven't killed you is because I want you to live with the fact that you're trash and pathetic, and that's, I know, I want you to stew in that. Even and he's I don't want to say he's a true believer, but he's followed Homelander down every path that the man wanted to go, and justified everything he did, backed him up on everything, and it didn't matter what the fuck it was. Through his life, he told him, everything about my life, I've given it away for you, and Homelander could care less. And then this idiot still thinks he can get back into Homelander's good graces by trying to kill Annie when they show up. Which his final death is so fun. The only downside to it is I'm so sick of the power scaling keeping Annie lame. Like this whole season, she's been super lame when they needed her to be. That being said, her telling him like everything that's happened to you is your fucking fault. You know it is. Your decisions were trash. And then he ultimately dies because his decision to back up, you know, to back up Homelander, or at least the Homelander agenda, led to him being excommunicated the ocean. Which is funny. I'm like, was there a Kraken just hanging out there? What the hell? The Kraken was just like, I bet the deep's gonna be here today. Of all, there's so much ocean in the world. The Kraken was just hanging out there. Okay,
You
fine.
know what? Namor would never.
He for Deep being so powerful, he sure did get his ass killed real fast. And people were like, he can't swim worth a shit. And I'm like, this is true. He's like, the power
He
scaling
just
at
talked to fish.
yeah, the power scaling was weird. Like he could beat up Annie, but he couldn't swim. It's weird.
I
Whatever.
mean, the part of it is that she wasn't really trying to use her powers on him.
And
She
she
was trying to talk him down and to like offer him a chance to redeem himself, which he didn't take. So,
which is
okay.
stupid too. Like fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, he's kind of proved time and time again, but we just saw before that
The
how
Ashley.
after
Yeah.
Homelander told him
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he's trash, he kept on like
Yeah.
trying to impress him. Like, how pathetic is that? Yeah, that's not a close thing. You know, it's like who's stupider, the fool or the one who follows him?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, Homelander might be pathetic, but Deep is even more pathetic.
Yeah, he is straight MAGA because look at it this way. He's the person who's blaming he's the MAGA guy blaming Biden for his current situation, despite the fact that Trump has been president for, a year and a, more than a year and a half, right? He's somehow it's Biden's fault. Somehow that's it's Annie's fault. It's crazy. I was very satisfying. We knew what was happening. It was very satisfying to see him get killed. Um, so those two are the main things. Seeing Oh Father get killed with the Chekhov's gun, the ball gag, was very
Chekhov's gag.
yeah. The Chekhov's gag was was very very good. I really like David Diggs in this whole season. I think, my God, I wish he had been here before. They like it's a crime that he was introduced in one season because he's so good. I could have used more of him in other seasons. That being said, like, it was a very satisfying death. He got what he had coming. Um, Also, Homelander finally doing something that I approve of. It took five seasons. He finally did something I approved of when he took the Elon Musk stand into space.
Wasn't it a Bezos stand-in?
It could have been both of them. It's both of them either way.
Kind of
Because
gave me this,
I think it might have been Bezos,
Bezos
but there
vibes.
that out
Yeah.
about either one, because he was talking about, because remember he was talking with oh father about putting illegals or starlighters
Mm.
as slave labor, and either way, loved it. He's like, I took him. He's an astronaut. I took him to space. I'm like, Homelander, why you waiting till the last minute? You about to die. You waiting till the last minute to do some shit I wanted you to do. I wanted to be like Butcher, Huey. Can y'all just chill out for just give him like a week? Because I guarantee you, he's gonna kill every one of these billionaires. I've been like, please. The
Yeah,
honestly,
but he would have killed everyone else
I
too.
would be so close to being in the Church of Homelander if he was going to guarantee he'd kill every one of those guys. I'd be like,
Yeah,
I've
that's
been like, you
how
know
a
what?
country ends up in like Soviet communism.
I get it.
And you don't want that.
I get it. And I agree. But the catharsis of seeing just like a whole constellation of frozen
That's
billionaire
what the
bodies.
peasants thought when they killed Romanovs, and then you saw what happened
Yeah,
then.
it's true. But
Oh.
I'm like, can y'all just
Gotta be careful with these things.
I just like can you just let them do that a few more times and then y'all can deal with them. But
Repeat.
the final fight, beautiful. People were like, well, why didn't he just run away? Because he thinks he's God, people. Oh, when they realized Kamiko really could depower, why couldn't he kill her? Why his laser wasn't working? His laser didn't work on Soldier Boy either. Or did we not watch the same show? Or I'm serious. We watched the same show, right? You remember he fought Soldier Boy in season 3? When the fuck did it work on him?
No, it was
Did,
like 5 years ago.
yeah, it didn't work on him either. She's got Soldier Boy's power more or less. Like y'all pay attention. Also Butcher was there. Butcher could take he's powered up enough that he can take he can't beat Homelander in a fight, but he can stand up with him. Right? Y'all get this through your mind. And then Ryan showed up. How is he going to get away? Y'all just think about what's happening in the episode. Which, by the way, Ryan, I know he was a whiny little, turd a few seasons
Yeah,
ago,
but like
but
his final episode was actually pretty good in terms of
yes,
character. The way he talked to Butcher, and he told him like, nah, you know what,
you're
fuck
not,
you too,
yeah, you're not
and
good
then
either.
went off to live with MM's family. I
Which
love that.
being again, I talked about it before. Why he's not nihilistic. He's afraid to be optimistic, but once he realized that was the only way forward, he gets Annie, he peps up her up. He is the right person to raise. I think he's absolutely the right person to raise Ryan, to continue on what Ryan's mother uh, did to raise him right. Ryan's a good kid because nothing that Homelander did could get him away from being a good kid. And I loved that he sees his moment and he comes in and he's like, no, he's going to declare I got to do something. And no matter what, he got some, as they say, he got some sense beat into him, if you will. And between the three of them, they fucking deal with him. And then, as you said, we get to see Homelander as he truly is, a sniveling, pathetic loser coward that when it comes down to it can't fight. But even if he could fight, he can't lose gracefully. He can't have any dignity. He's literally just like, I'll do anything, just don't kill me. Because he's been afraid of death this whole time. He's been afraid of dying. Like in the previous season, he's afraid of getting old, and like, that's why he wanted the V1. And stripped of all of that, there's nothing underneath there. He's just a broken, pathetic man baby with nothing to offer, no dignity, no pride, no nothing at all like that. And he's exposed. And they never show it. I wish they would have, but they never show the aftermath of their hero being utterly exposed, because I bet there's still people that were on Homelander's side even after that, the true believers. And this is, remember I said this is a fantasy series, right? Because in the real world, this shit does not happen, right? They don't pull their idols off of their pedestals. But it felt good. It felt good. Well, I didn't even need to see Homelander get his skull ripped open. I didn't need to see that. It was good enough to see him get his ass beat, and snivel and cry. Um, and I think that it was necessary for this show. And at the end, everyone's good. Huey and Butcher having to have that confrontation, and Butcher being the opposite side of the coin of Homelander, we have to deal with him. No, he's like, no, it's not good enough that Homelander's gone. We got to get rid of Soups in general. Which, by the way, I fucking agree with him. That's the thing is, I agree. And the smart move is to get, because if they can make one Homelander, they can make another. And there's always going to be some dumbass somewhere that thinks it's a good idea. So he's right. Inevitably, there will be another one. But unfortunately, like, mass genocide is not the fucking answer. I do think depowering them, like, if
One by
anything,
one, yeah, that would be a nice way.
there aren't that many soups in the world. Like there got to be maybe a couple thousand, maybe, right? Maybe a bunch of soups running around with stupid ass powers that no one gives a shit about. But actually, dangerous soups that could turn around and like do some Homelander shit. There's not that many. Kimiko exists, right?
I think
It,
she wants to do that.
like I'm not saying she should go live her life, but I'm saying that anytime one of these motherfuckers gets froggy, go all right, Kimiko, let's track him down because you know Annie and a few other people could track them down. Marie, track them down, depower them. That'd be that, right? But in general, the idea of soups in the world is a dumb idea, and he was right. It's just like it was also a very Homelander thing to do, and it kind of dealt with the fact that Butcher was just the other side of the coin of Homelander. He just happened to be pulling in the right direction, but that didn't mean he's good. And Ryan said that too. Like, you're not good, and I don't want to be around you.
Which was good for him.
Yeah, they did redeem him.
A really smart decision for a child.
Yeah, Ryan was a shit in season 4, but in this one he's mature. He's a better man than his dad ever could have been. He just is. I did like that they slightly redeemed Butcher in this, very slightly, in the sense that we saw, even if Huey didn't see it, we saw that he was, because of Huey and what he represents to him, and like a little brother, he doesn't pull the trigger on the on the sprinkler system, and because of that, even if Huey doesn't see it, we see it that Butcher at the last moment does have some humanity, which was nice. I think we could have a long discussion about this season and this episode. I know people aren't big. There's a lot of people saying there was trash writing and all. And some of the decisions I didn't love. Some of the pacing I didn't love. But as an actual ending to the series, I think this was excellent. I could see myself watching this again. Maybe revisiting some of the previous seasons, at least the highlights, just to make this stick a lot more. But I think and relative to the comics, this apparently is miles ahead of way the comics ended. So
I don't know how they ended because I never finished reading them.
But
they started being trashy.
Yeah.
right from the beginning, it was trash.
At the least, this brought it home in a way that mattered and made sense. So I really enjoyed it. And sounds like you did too. That's good.
Yeah.
So
I really did, and I'm kind of glad this is over. Because I'm so tired of the show and like the impact that it made so far on the overall violence of other things. Because I think that it kind of had an effect. But at the same time, it used it for comedic purpose, while other shows sometimes take it way too serious.
Right? Yeah, Invincible maybe. It got away from. I think it kind of like escaped the control of the creators. That happens with art, right? Sometimes you don't actually know how far or what's going to hit, what's going to necessarily land, what people are going to grasp onto and run with, and it may have a follow-on effect. But I actually, if I'm being honest, I think its excessiveness has actually maybe made us start swinging in the other direction, away from the meanness and the crass and the over the top violent nature, and going more towards a Superman, so if you will. And I hope that's true. Which isn't to say I like this show. I think it was a worthwhile 5 seasons. And it had a lot to say, and I think we can give that to Eric Kripke and his writers to kind of distill the best things out of the source material, shave off,
which wasn't really good.
Shave off and excise the stupid or inane or just problematic, and kind of tell a story that's important for our time. And I can't take that away from them. So Very, very good. Glad to have seen that. So I think that's all of our thoughts for this. And that also means that's all of our show for this week. We had a good couple hours of discussion, good times here. But you know what? Maybe there was a news item we missed. You just wanted to agree, disagree, discuss, troll, give us some kudos, whatever the case may be. We want to hear it from you down there in the comments section. And of course, you can always hit us up. It's supernotfunnyshow at gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast and all of the other things we do on Blurred Force 1. And of course, couldn't do this by myself. I needed my good friend Polly to just give us her thoughts on just comics and Chekhov's gag and all that, all that, all that other stuff. So where can
Chekhov's weep.
Yeah, it was. It could have been a Chekhov something else too. So we'll just go with the gag. All right.
It could have been a plug. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have. Where could they reach?
Chekhov was into some wild shit.
Chekhov's was doing some other things. He probably has got an OnlyFans at this point, but
Nah, he did.
That doesn't stop anybody. AI is a thing. Anyway, where can they reach you on social media?
It's _underscore mixed on Threads, on Instagram, on Tumblr. Yeah, but I'm mostly on Threads, so talk to me.
Yeah, you guys don't say, the operative word not.
I'm like 112 subscribers, like followers away from 1,000.
Nice. Yeah. I keep getting
Still
so close.
100.
I'm so close to getting 1,000, but like, whatever. I don't care.
It's like 7 subscribers in a day, I think. I think it happened after the what's his face Punisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that man.
I'm hoping X-Men 97 season 2 gets us like over the top. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Which that's coming up pretty soon too. So anyway, this has been episode, if you can believe it, 230 of the Supercast. Thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We are what's next week? Is Spider Noir? We got Spider Noir next week. I think that's true. Is it the 22nd? Okay. Yeah, I think it's coming on Monday. Yeah, I think it's coming on Monday. So we got
the 22nd is tonight.
Not the 22nd, 25th? 25th?
That's like Monday, yeah.
I think it's May 25th. So yeah, it's dropping on the 25th. We're gonna try to get through that. I think they're dropping the whole thing. We're gonna try to talk about that next week. Should be a good time. So until then, I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by my good friend Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace. Thank you.